Hi guys, and welcome back. I am Housewife Historian. We're going live today to talk Real Housewives and the Valley. Super excited to have a guest on today, so make sure that you guys are kind and gracious in the comments. I know it's been a while since I have went live, so I'm not expecting a huge audience, but if you're here, comment, let us know who some of your favorite housewives are. You can ask any questions in the comments. I'm going to keep an eye on them as we're going along. And then we're going to introduce our guest and get started. I'm also going to put her handle in the description for you guys and in the comments. You guys can go follow her on TikTok and anywhere else.
No, really just TikTok for me. I need to get with the program, but just
No,
TikTok for
TikTok's
now.
great. We love TikTok over here.
We do love TikTok.
Don't mind my door. But I'm not gonna keep my camera on the whole time, guys, because I'm looking a little rough today. So that's just how it is. But we're gonna get started. And do you want to start Housewives or the Valley? There's so much going
I'm
on.
I'm like deep into the Valley right now. I'm loving it. So I would love to start with the Valley.
Yeah, let's get started. If you guys don't know, we're on season 2, episode 2, I think episode 3 actually of The Valley. A little bit of back. Do you want to just give us a little bit of a rundown of some of the main characters? You know.
Okay, so yeah, Jesse Lally, which is Jesse is divorcing Michelle. And Jesse to me is like gives like serial killer vibes. Like he's very divisive though. People are finding him charming this season, which is like wild to me. But they're like mid-divorce.
Ugh,
And it's very messy.
very messy. How would you describe Michelle?
Okay, so Michelle to me, I people are very reactive to Michelle. Don't find her like she's very monotone. She's very like she's not very emotive. She does like to poke the bear a little bit. Like she does sort of like getting under Jesse's skin, but I don't know. I just feel like Jesse feels like such a sociopath to me.
You think
Like
a sociopath? I
kind of.
think more like I don't know. I think he's like I think there's a lot there to
Hmm.
unravel probably, but I feel like their dynamic is that he's more of an emotional person. Like he's very much more emotional. Like he even cried at the table. If you noticed that when they sat down a couple of weeks ago, and she got mad at him for crying. She was like, "You always cry." And then you
Yeah.
make people think that I'm the bad guy, right? Which I
Yeah.
think that too, but like I don't know. He was crying about not having Isabella on Thanksgiving and Christmas, like both holidays back to back. So I don't know. Like I can relate to them, and which why I love the Valleys. Like they have kids and they're fucking miserable, and I'm like, I know what that was like for a long time, and like I'm finally out, so I'm not miserable, but I'm still like struggling, but. I can see the light, so I don't know. It's just like nice to be like, wow, other people like I would feel
Are
like
in
maybe
it.
more unhappy than happy
Well,
these
I
days.
think too. So my kids are like 11, I'm sorry, 12 and 10. So like I forget what it's like to have like toddlers. Like you
Yeah.
have to be so present, so aware. They take up all the energy in the room. Like it is hard. And Danny and oh God, Nia, like I really feel for them.
How
But
many
having a
kids?
four,
Three?
three,
Three kids
three
instead of
under three,
twins.
twins would do me in. Like I don't think I could ever. Like two toddlers at the same time. No, I would lose my mind.
And she wants another one. She's
Yeah.
pregnant, I think, right now.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's wild.
She's the most beautiful person on Bravo. She is the
She's
most beautiful person on Bravo.
so pretty. She seems so sweet. Danny, I'm a little worried about.
I know. I think that he has maybe a little bit of an issue with alcohol, and I think that she
Protects
realizes
him.
that and maybe she's trying to let him to like come to terms with that maybe. I don't know what they're home like. I don't know if he drinks at home or if he only drinks when they go out. I think he's very sensitive as well. If you remember last year when they went to Big Bear and Jesse like
Yes.
got drunk, he was like day drinking, and I think it's the
But Jesse's
alcohol
a
in his
bully.
night.
That's my issue with Jesse.
He was like day drinking. He was like he was like trying to fight Danny. He was like
Yeah.
literally trying to fight him, and like Danny not being, knowing. I don't think they know each other per se very well.
Right.
Like he didn't know what to do. Like his feelings were hurt about it. I feel
I
like.
did feel for him in that moment. But then he became like a drunky Brewster and couldn't handle his alcohol and like lost I don't know, like it's yeah, there's a darkness there that I think gets hidden by his sort of like cheery personality.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to present in a way where their life is very like perfect and beautiful. But
Yeah.
there's undertones there that I'll be interested to find out. And actually, Nia's in the upcoming episode where she was talking about she lived in her car for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Did
did
not
not.
see that coming, right?
She was like Miss America, right? Miss USA, Miss
Yeah,
America.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
one with Trump, I think, because she talked about how Trump was like weird to her.
really.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
some. Yeah, that is wild. So I don't know. But Jesse, here's also what drives me crazy about Jesse. Did you see his closet?
When he said he can find, that was me. That was me though. That's.
Wait,
I was like,
stop.
finally.
No. Wait, your closet looks like his closet?
No, but he said whenever she moved out, he was like, finally, Michelle's
Oh,
out, and he's like, I can how do you say? He was like, I can put my suits and organize them by color now, and he was like,
I
and I was like,
know. Maybe
bro, I
it's me.
know,
Maybe I'm just so messy that like if you saw my closet, he would have a heart attack. Like
right,
shit's everywhere. It's a mess. Like,
right.
but his like, I when I saw it was like color coordinated, I was like, someone call the police. That man has killed someone, and it's in that closet. Like
But
it's
I
just
feel like is that like something rich men do? Like rich men that like go to work and take like they have to take pride in what they wear because they're like real estate and they're running with like high rollers and people that have more money than them per se. Like and like
yeah.
I don't know because I've never been around money like that day to day today to know. But
Well,
I
do we
don't.
know that Jesse has either? I feel like Jesse's finances are a little funky.
I agree with you. We should definitely get into that because there was a lot of talk about his finances. Does he own his home? Does he rent the home? That's a little confusing to me. I need to know if he is with this girl or not. Also, the girl that was allegedly cheating with the Baywatch. You know she's friends with
Wait,
Gretchen Rossi, so I just can't get down with her.
stop. I didn't know. I know nothing about her. I was telling you, I feel so old because they were like, oh, she's dating a Baywatch person. And I thought it was literally like Baywatch from like the 90s. Like I thought she was dating like David Hasselhoff. And it was like, there's a new Baywatch. So I'm like, who is she dating?
I don't
And why
know.
is she sending cease and desist? That's wild.
I
It
didn't
is
know
a
she sent
wild
cease and
choice.
desist.
Yeah, to the cast members, she doesn't want them to talk about her. Which I
No.
was like, weird choice to date someone actively on a reality show if you don't want, you
He
know.
hasn't posted her since October. When I go in the house, I'm gonna get my laptop out while we're chatting. I'm gonna Google it and see what I can find out. He has not. I went on his Instagram. He hasn't posted her since October, and I was like trying to wonder, like, but he still has a lot of posts of her. Like they went to New York City and they went to watch What Happens Live together. And this was a little. I don't know why this kind of struck me a little weird that she took him to Tiffany's for his birthday. I don't know. I
That
guess
is,
I don't know. Like, is that rich people thing that like men? I don't know if
you
men
do
have, like
men
a man
want
had a favorite
stuff from
restaurant. Is
Tiffany?
it Tiffany's? Like,
I think he wants stuff from Tiffany's. I don't know if it's like normal to want, but I feel like he's very sort of peacocky with his money. Like he likes things that are like labeled, flashy. You know, he always has those like dinners with $5,000 wine. Like there's something in him that he really I feel like wants to keep up with the Joneses.
yeah, it makes him feel validated. Maybe
Maybe.
is it
But I
because
don't
like
know.
the people that he runs with have more money than him, and so like it's almost
It's
like that. I want to have as much money. I don't know. I guess it's all what you put in the value of like money. I guess maybe I don't know. I guess it's
yeah.
probably because when he goes to work, he has to like present himself on a level of like these other people that have like a lot of money. Like, and then it's hard to shut that off. If you go to work and pretend like you're, a millionaire
Yeah.
to compete and like keep up in conversation and keep, because like if you're like rich, you probably want your realtor to have like some status too. And then you got to come home to like your $20 convenient wine, like bottles from the
Right?
convenience store.
But I feel like a little bit he's doing it wrong because I feel like what's that saying like wealth whispers, money
Whispers.
talks.
Yeah,
It feels like he's talking a
I
lot,
know. I think so.
And so that I don't know. And I don't wait. Do you think that Michelle is hooking up with or was hooking up cheating on him with a billionaire?
I don't think it was a billionaire, but I think she was cheating on him with a producer that probably had pool in Hollywood. Absolutely.
Stop.
Yeah, you know where they live by? The chateau. That's like that place is like have you do you know anything about it?
No.
Oh my god, it is like a staple center in LA. It's like been around for like years and years and years, but it's like small, and it's like a castle, like kind of. It's like dark in there. That's where Bose just saw Mauricio on a double date. Remember at the reunion?
Oh,
That's where
yes.
he was at. Was at that same place. It's like a low key like, but it's like there was an actor and I can't remember his name, but like he was accused of like doing some heinous things to like a child there, and the child running out of the room, and then everyone around him dying basically,
Oh
like, so it has
no.
a dark history. It's kind of like the Viper Room where like Johnny
Yeah. What
yeah,
is
where I think what was his name, he died on the sidewalk
River
outside.
Phoenix,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
really sad.
And so I think it's like one of those things in LA. It has like a dark history, but it's like also, I don't want to say like local per se, but I kind of feel like it's like low key where like a lot of the locals go. Like if I go back to LA, I'm going there.
I know. I will definitely try to get
Yeah.
me a billionaire. Just kidding.
But I think
I
that she like didn't want to be with him. I think she wanted to break up prior to that. She kind of said that. They tried to be like open about what like their relationship was like before they got on the show, because they didn't really want people to like perceive them as like faking it, I guess. But I don't know. I
yeah.
think she wanted out a long time ago.
I do. Yeah, I definitely do. And I think yeah, I think to me I find him very like controlling and very like image focused, and I feel like that would be a lot to like be married to. Like there's something of, but I don't think like, first of all, the group chat thing had me laughing so hard. I was
Fill
like, what?
everybody in on the group chat things. I didn't understand it at first, but now I do. But fill us in on the group chat.
I really, so it was like 20 dum dums, like 20 F boys who like they were like the number one rule of the group chat is no one talks about the group chat. But I was like,
Oh my god,
right?
please,
Every
please.
wife, every girlfriend has access to that group chat. And
Every
it's in
single one of them.
writing. Like, what did Dorinda say? Write it, forget it. Wait, say it, forget it, write it, regret it, I think was the
Mm.
saying. Something like that. Like, it's like everything is there forever in that group chat. And it already is getting talked about, So it's like, they're such dum dums. I love, like, I'm like, never change. Like, I'm so
Oh.
happy they're such dum dums. But like, the idea that they thought that was like a sacred place was wild to me.
So
But the group
Jesse
chat too.
said he was smoking out the mole in the group chat because he claimed that somebody was leaking information from the
22 men.
22 men. We know my
And
keep a secret as is. Was somebody was leaking info, so he was trying to smoke the mole out by coming up with this rumor that his ex, well, soon to be ex. P.S. Did you know Jesse's representing himself in the divorce?
stop.
Swear to God, what
Oh
is
my gosh.
like,
See
to
that
me? That
man. And
says like you guys don't have nothing to fucking split. Sorry, I don't know.
you're right?
You must not have nothing to split but debt. For real. Because what else? Or you have like ironclad prenups.
Which I doubt. I don't know why. I just don't think that they would have.
He mentioned artwork that she tried to take that he said was his before they got married, but I don't know what kind of. I didn't know he was like an art enthusiast. I don't know what. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I like you said, I can't think it would be a lot.
No, I can't imagine. And I just don't think like I personally felt so bad for her because I was like, because he put out that rumor that she was a hooker, right? Like basically sleeping with a billionaire for $1,500 a night, which is like a very specific amount. And I just can't imagine a billionaire paying for like having sex with someone that's on a reality show. You know what I mean? Like, and going through a messy divorce and leaving crumbs.
And $1,500 in LA is like insulting. I would have been more insulted about the fifteen hundred
See, I'm from
dollars
Boston. I was
than
like, that feels like a lot of
telling people I was
money.
a hooker for real.
I was like, oh
I would
wow,
have
good
been.
for
I would have
her.
been more pissed about him telling the people I was only charging $1,500.
I
Like that's
didn't think of that.
insulting.
Oh my god, my brain was like, good for her. Like tax free. Like
Right. And
she's
he was
like,
even kind of like encouraging of her in a way. I felt like the first season, because he said like we're in real estate, like I have no problem sending Michelle, if there's like a group of men standing somewhere or something, like honey, go do your thing, like go get that deal, go get that listing, go get that house. Like he seemed secure in that. But then when that rumor started that she was going to the hotel and she was part
right?
of I don't know why they would use the pool there. I don't know if they don't have a pool at their house, or maybe just because like when you're rich, that must be like a rich person thing that you go to like your club, you go to your
Yeah,
clubhouse.
you're like,
where you can go to the spa and like go to the sauna, and like they probably babysitters for the kids. They probably have the works for real, for real.
I
Um,
know. But I just
yeah,
don't think I think a lot of people are anti Michelle because they think she actually cheated. But my personal thoughts are I don't think she did. And even if she did, I'm kind of like, well, I get it a little. Like he's so terrible. Like, do you ever hear that Louis C.K. joke that's like, when parents are with kids and they're screaming, people without kids are like, what did that terrible parent do to that poor kid? And then people with kids are like, what did those
kids
what did that
do.
asshole kid do to those poor parents?
Right.
Like it's like I feel like that a little bit with Michelle where I'm like, yeah, maybe she did cheat, but she probably was like in a really toxic relationship. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Even the way they talk about like how they hooked up, and like they were supposed to be a one night stand, and
Oh
yada yada
yeah.
yada. Like he tells it in a more loving capacity, where she more so is like, I was never supposed to be with this mother effer. Like I don't even know
Right.
how I ended up here. Like SOS,
She
help.
does feel more detached, and I think that's why people are probably more reactive to her.
Maybe, maybe that's a good point. And I kind of do feel bad because, like, here's the thing. She had her baby in the middle of COVID, which I did too. I had my
Oh,
daughter
did
in
you?
April of 2020, and they
Oh
had Isabella
no.
at some time around then. And like it was a different time because it was kind of apocalyptic. We didn't know if it was the end of the world or not. You couldn't have anybody at the hospital with you, like just your one person.
That's
And then
crazy.
when you had the baby, you didn't want anyone to be around the baby because, my goodness, like you
Yeah, it
were
was,
scared, so you had no help. So you're in this really small like village
and
with
that's when
you
you
and your
need a village
spouse.
the most. Like even just someone to come over and let you take a nap would
Yeah,
be.
no, you're too scared. You're terrified. So you're like, and she said that he stayed home a lot and spent a lot of their stuff, spent a lot of money. And she's like, it's like he didn't want to go back to work. And then when like COVID restrictions started to lift, like he wanted to go out and drink. And she was like, aren't you like 45 years old? Like, what are we doing? And so I don't know. He doesn't take, like, it doesn't seem to me though that he's like the going out clubbing kind of guy.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't get that vibe either, but I don't know. Yeah. Here's what bothers me too a little bit is that he instead of like going to therapy, he went on that like ayahuasca trip.
yeah,
And like I feel like this is like a theme in Bravo. These men, like Shep did it too, like went to Costa Rica, sorry, and did like ayahuasca. And I'm like, that's not therapy.
therapy.
You
It's
know, it's like,
therapeutical. It can help you in your journey and your path and your
yeah,
treatment,
a
but it's
hundred
not
percent. It
like
can
a
help
cure
you, but
all.
it's not like you're cured. Like
No.
it's wild that they are like, I don't know. But yeah, they're
Um,
what do you think of Jax
I mean, I
and
feel like
Brittany?
I don't know what's gonna happen for them. I mean, Jax is like I mean, I feel like he's, people are really, people are about patterns. They repeat the same thing, over. They're predictable in that way that like I know a lot of people like Jax, and like he is going to be worse without the alcohol and the Uggs for a while, until he like actually does some therapy, because part of like the cycle of addiction is the guilt, shame, and remorse. So like you drink or you use, and then you feel shitty that you drink and use, and so then you get up the next day and you do the same thing because you just feel so shitty from the day before, which doesn't make sense to like a logical mind. But you have to remember, like, he's sick, he's still like
Yeah.
really sick and suffering. And it's like a weird dynamic because I think Brittany's like an angel, of course, and like love her, but at the same time, she doesn't seem very educated in the like what
Addiction.
is to come and what you can do to help your part. Like she was like, he's rage texting me. I thought it was gonna get better when he was in rehab. I'm like, oh no, girl, he's coming off stuff that he's been on for decades. He hasn't had emotions in so long. He's been numbed. Like that is going to be very overwhelming. Yeah, like
Yeah. And it's
I
hard to feel like you've created something. You know, it's
yeah,
easier for him to be like, well, you did it too, or you were,
yes. Yeah,
sort
and
of
he's
put
gonna be angry. Like alcoholics and addicts, their addiction doesn't want them to get clean. They're not there super duper like, yay, I can't wait. My life's so amazing. I can't wait to get out and start from rock bottom and like,
no.
and so I think that like she doesn't, and maybe because she's probably been so at the hand of his abuse for, I mean, honestly, like for so long that she probably has a lot of her own healing that she needs to do. But
Oh
she's
yeah,
like an
she's so in it.
Al-Anon. I'm a recovery coach. I'm literally about to offer to be his free recovery coach or her coach because they need help. Like, I'm
They
sorry,
do need
but
help.
7 days in rehab is like a detox. That's basically what he did. He did not go there and work on mental health, addiction tools, none of that. It would have taken 7 days logically to probably detox him and get him out of bed, even go to groups and stuff because he was probably feeling like shit. If he was, I don't know how often he drinks, but alcohol and benzodiazepines are like the only two dangerous withdrawals that can cause like seizures and even death, and they need to be like medically, overseen while you do that because you can die from it. And I don't know like how bad is alcohol. I know that the snow was like a problem, but
Yeah.
man, so if you're going snow 5 days a week, you're probably drinking 5 days a week.
And she said on Watch What Happens Live she doesn't think he's sober. But maybe he is and he's still rage texting because he hasn't like figured out his emotions yet.
So she
But
was
yeah, I don't know. He's touring right now. He's actually gonna be in Boston on Tuesday.
wait, who is all coming to Boston? I want to come to Boston.
Jax is actually Brittany was just here too, weirdly. Um, but yeah, but ticket sales are not going well for poor Jax. I think it's like a reflection of the show. Like right now, he's like not painted in a great light. Well, he's not acting in a great light, I should say. Like the fact that he threw that chair was terrible. Like,
I know, but I still feel like he manages to stay ahead of it and in a way that Britney still co-signs for him to like the audience as like saying like he's authentic because like she said she went back and watched his interview with Alex Baskins, which if you guys don't know, he's like head producer of the Real Housewives and the Valley and a bunch of shows over in Bravo, and he has an exclusive podcast that he charges like a monthly subscription fee, but sometimes the Bravo gods bless us and they give it to us for free on YouTube. And Jax was on there, and she said she felt like she could tell he was being sincere, but he was also very like nervous. And Jason also said he felt like Jax was being sincere, and they were making fun of him because they said he has an eBay store, and he
yeah,
takes the stuff
I did see that.
that he gets as free merch from like PR boxes and stuff, and he resells it on eBay.
Which is
Like,
wild. But I love in a way too, because I'm like, I feel like he probably grew up pretty like middle class, maybe even lower middle class. So like he's always gonna have that hustle in him. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like to like even because yeah, I which I can relate to a little bit. Like I'm like I would have an eBay store selling my merch, I think.
Dude, me too. I'm frugal. I'm very frugal. Like I
Same.
used to, me too, but I don't know. I mean, it's just funny because he was
It
like,
is
he
funny.
had Jason send out a mascara, like when
A
Jason dropped him off on rehab.
mascara.
He was like, "Bro, do you need anything else?" And he's like, "Yeah, can you mail this mascara for me?"
Which is I'm actually terrible too. I never return stuff. If I have to return it like via mail, I'm just keeping it forever. So
I
actually I
know,
could never
girl.
have a eBay shop.
I know. Um, but yeah, I think that they said like I didn't really follow Jackson as much like back in the day, but they said that he like his dad was like sick, and they didn't tell the kids that he was sick, and he like unexpectedly passed. Yeah, and he unexpectedly passed. Um, and they were very resentful to the mother for not like
Letting
going
him
against the
know.
dad's wishes and saying like your dad's sick and he's dying, and you should come see him before he passes. Um, that kind of was like a little bit of like something seems a little strange. That's a weird. That's kind of
Yeah, that's just particularly for a mother to be like, why didn't she like
like the dad didn't want her to. The dad didn't want anyone to know that
yeah,
he was sick, so she was like following his
his wishes.
wishes. That was her husband, but at the same time, it didn't give her kids the opportunity to like even say goodbye to their dad. Are you
Oof.
seeing comments by chance? Is anybody commenting? Because
I'm not.
I didn't see any comments either.
I
So
saw a
I'm
like. That was Let me see. Let me see a chat.
I'm just gonna put a message in here and see if it comes up on my end. Okay. Sometimes people don't chat. Sometimes it's haters. Sometimes it's just
Oh,
quiet.
I love a hater. I'll take
um,
anything.
let's. I wanted. We were talking about chat. Oh, what do you think about Brittany though? Doesn't Brittany drink and get down and party too? Like, what do you think about her sending the picture of her tatas to Julian?
Low key, I loved it. I freaking loved it. I was like, get out there, get away, break free, like go show your tatas. But also, I heard that that guy turned out to be like kind of a d bag,
I
like a
know.
liar. And I was like, he's in the freaking friend group. Like, if he's actively hanging out with Jax Taylor, like, well, you gotta. I just here's what I want for Brittany. I want her to heal. I want her to like be single for like a year. I want her to like, and then I want her to find someone outside of this group.
Yeah, me too. She deserves it. She's a sweetheart. She's from Kentucky, by the way.
I know.
I love
I love her
that.
little
And
accent.
I do too. I love her. I think she's adorable, and her mom seems so sweet too. And speaking of Kentucky, you know the rumors about Janet, right? Because she's from Ohio. She's from like Columbus area, like Dublin, like down by. And she was married before.
I did see that.
And she left her husband and was like, I'm going to LA to try to get famous in a year. And she was like, huge, super fan of Vanderpump Rules. And she met Shayna at Dave and Buster's, which I thought
No,
was comical that she went back to Dave and Buster's for her birthday this season.
that is,
Um,
she really does love Dave and Buster's.
yeah, she
By
must
the
be.
way, I hate Dave and Buster's.
Me too,
It's
girl.
so loud. And like every
A
time I'm
waste
there,
of
I'm like,
money. I know. I'm
yeah,
like, girl, I take it or leave it. But it was
yeah.
funny to watch the episode because they kind of were flashing back and forth between like um Michelle having a breakdown and like crying and trying to like kick Jesse off his own trip. And then they would flash to Janet like having fun and winning
Yeah,
and
she
putting
was like, I
coins in.
can't. I get it too. Once in a while, you're like, I can't deal with this, right? Like, this is my happy place. I just want to, like,
She
I'll
was like,
check
I've
back
never
in.
seen anyone cry at Dave and Buster's. But she's getting not a good rep amongst the Bravo community, amongst the Bravo fans. They're not really digging her.
Yeah,
She
because she tried to kick off Kristen, which I was like, that's bullshit. Kristen's like, you can't do that to like, Kristen was like the star of the show. And I feel like she wanted to like, I don't like to when they're like pick and choose people who can go on like cast trips and can't. Like,
I agree.
I just
I
don't.
agree.
I'm like, you're doing a show, like a collaborative show. Like, it feels like they're overproducing a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like that either. If I hate when Housewives, any franchise tries to like ice somebody out. Like I don't like that at all. I don't think like suck it up for real. Unless if
Yeah.
it's like SA or something crazy, like suck it up. This is your job. Like that's just how it is, and just get
Right.
over
We
it.
want
I
to
don't
see you
like
either
that.
work through it or not work through it or like, but like just to like ignore or ice them out, it just feels immature and also like not interesting.
Yeah, and nobody exactly. It's not interesting. Exactly. Like nobody wants to see such tight alliances with other people. You know what I mean? I agree with you 1,000%. And I think that Jesse and Michelle last season trying to do that to Kristen, he got a lot of backlash for that, and a lot of
Yes, he
people felt
did.
like we did. And I think he read the comments and good boy for like listening
Yeah,
and correcting and like inviting Kristen over. They had like a little tea thing and like
that was
um
cute.
yeah, and I feel like he like I don't know if they really flirt. Do you think they flirt? Do you think he has a thing for her a little bit?
I didn't pick up on it, but it's not impossible.
Well, he like grabbed her like knit her like lady
Oh,
at
he did. Yes.
season 1.
What do you think of Luke? I go back and forth with Luke.
Me
He
too.
seems nice, but I'm like, is nice what we want? like,
What I want, I feel like she should be nice.
that's what I want in my life. I don't know if that's what I want on my TV.
I know. I don't know what to think either because like I don't know. I don't know what Kristen. She seems content with him
She
in a way.
does.
But he's like country. He's from Colorado. He didn't even want to live in LA. Like he was like, I'll come here for the summer, and then
But
we'll go
there's no
back to
way
Colorado.
she's leaving LA. I
No way.
can't.
But maybe she's converted him because some people like don't think that they would like California, but he like gets out there and maybe, it's nicer and more than he maybe had thought. I don't know. He seems genuine. He's just maybe he seems kind of backwards. That's what he like just seems a little backwards to me. You know what
Yeah,
I
he
mean?
seems a little overwhelmed too with all of it, which is
Yes,
fair. I mean, it
which is
is
very fair.
overwhelming, but
But
oof.
it's good that he's like not so flat. He doesn't overproduce himself. Like that's he's very just how he is, and I kind of appreciate that about him in a way.
Yeah, I do too. And I also do think these shows need balance. Like you need a villain. You like they can't we can't have 10 villains. That would be
Right.
too much. Like I feel like Jesse's a little the villain. People think Michelle's kind of the villain. So like I do think he offers a nice balance,
Mhm. Yeah,
but I'm
for
also
sure.
like I don't know, there's something about him. He's so quiet.
Yeah, he is kind of quiet. I agree with you. Quiet, but like I feel like behind closed doors, he's not as quiet about like vocal about what
Yeah.
he
And
like.
I feel bad. I do feel like the boys iced him out a little bit. They wouldn't let him in the group chat, which I was like,
I didn't know they went live in the group chat. Are you serious?
yeah.
That's
Which is
good
like a good
now.
thing though. Like don't go in that group chat. That group chat is gonna be nothing but trouble. Like
They said that I guess Janet's husband, I can't think of his name right now, but he has an Android, and so he's not in the group chat because he has an Android. Because I guess you have to have an iPhone. He can't be in the group chat if you have an Android. And somebody was like, they low key felt like, it worked out good for him because Janet would have been the one that
oh
was
my god.
actually,
Janet would
you
have been
know,
all over that.
yeah, all over it, all over that. So I felt like that was funny. And also, this is another reason you need to watch the after show is because Lala was the one I guess who allegedly brought Julian, who's the man that Brittany was seeing or whatever,
Oh
into the friend group, right? I didn't know that. So Julian
no.
originally was brought into the friend group because of Lala, and then when they stopped seeing each other, he just stuck around and then started hooking up with Brittany, and so Lola at first was like kind of a little taken back that Brittany was like sleeping with him, I guess. Like she was kind of and like didn't tell her and everybody else knew but her. And then
Um
she said that her and Brittany talked and Brittany was like basically like, he just helped me feel beautiful again, like and Lala was like, I completely get it and I'm not upset about it at all by any means. Because I guess a fan came up to Brittany when she was in Las Vegas and said, like, no, he actually lives at home with his children's mother. And this whole time, he had been telling all of them that he was a single effing
no.
dad. And they
That's
were
a
picking up the tabs. Schwartz, all of them were picking up, and Jax allegedly were picking up the tabs for the Ubers, for the drinks, for all the works because hi, Mrs. Peacock, because they thought that he was
like a
a
single
single dad.
dad
Yeah,
struggling.
yeah,
No. How Brittany's pickers off. She needs to like she
yes,
needs this is bad. That's
yeah.
why she needs like a year of no dating or
She does. You're
just
exactly right.
because I feel like to jump from Jax to this guy, it's like, no, I just want her to find like a nice or not find no one. Like I feel like at
Yeah.
this point it's like better to be single.
And she's
Like
like in B&Bs. I feel like that is a little peculiar as well. That like Miss Peacock said, hard for me to feel sorry for Brittany. She knew what Jax was about.
I
Um
hear that a lot with Brittany. There is a lot of like it's like that and then why did she stay so long? Which I
which is
feel
so hard.
I know. Part of me is like, I get it, but then part of me is also like, I just feel like that's like if you're in a really toxic relationship, it's hard from the outside looking in to understand it.
Yeah,
Like why
absolutely.
people stay and I'm sure
Yeah.
he beat her down, like just being like, no one really likes you. You have no friends here. I'm the star of this show.
You're fat.
You're fat. Yes. Which this is what drives me crazy about Jax. It's like everyone's like, we've heard him say it, we've seen the text, and he just denies, denies, denies. Like no
That's so true.
ownership.
And he's got this publicist. There were like there's so much John Ravel here, but there was this publicist that like whenever him and Brittany had first like really broke up, he was in Canada for an event, and like of course boots on the ground, whoever she was doing the Lord's work, and
Thank
she was
you.
like messaging I don't know Bravo and cocktails somebody or something, and they were there, they were at the bar, they were drinking and like basically making out and looking for snow, and that's still his same publicist. And apparently he went on a live
She
the
needs
other
a
night.
publicist.
Yeah, it's the publicist. I can't remember her name. I'll have to look her up. She's not Brittany's publicist. She's Jack's publicist. And basically they were partying, and now that Jax is like went to rehab or whatever, I think they're trying to keep him off TikTok live because he is a narcissist and he needs attention and he's in an uncomfortable, he doesn't know what sobriety feels like. That's an uncomfortable thing. Like I tell Margaret
Yeah.
Joseph because I'm like, I need to be like marketing and helping these housewives. I'm telling you, because she has
You
like that sober drink. She has like that soiree drink that she does that's like non-alcoholic. And I'm like, you could do so much in the recovery community because you don't understand how uncomfortable it is for people that stop drinking to go to events like, parties, Christmas time, anniversaries, and everyone asks why they're not drinking or not feel like they had a drink in their hand. Luann from Real Housewives in New York was the same way. When she had to quit drinking, she would carry
yeah.
around a glass with like
Rose
grape
or
juice
something.
because she
Yeah.
was like, I just feel so, I need this. You're like, okay, Luann, but that's like a thing to them, it's almost like ritualistic, if and then you take that out and you have all these emotions, like you don't have a healthy person. And Brittany needs to do her own healing. Like, don't be
She does.
codependent, don't be somebody who has to be had, you know but at the same time, I think like her he's only 3 years old. I think he's turning 4. Like, I think sometimes
He's
people
young.
forget, when you have a kid, if you don't have it already figured out about your partner, you can contribute a lot of their bad behaviors, especially with men, especially men that get jealous of their children. I think that happens
Which is the
so much
thing.
more than people talk about.
Agreed.
They want your attention, your time, and you've like, Brittany has thrown everything into this relationship, and then all of a sudden she's a baby, a whole that's completely dependent on her. That's going to take some attention away from your partner. If your partner is not prepared for that, you could be in trouble. And I
Yeah.
think that that's
Oh,
part of it.
yeah. Cruz too. She just came out and said he had autism, which is like, I feel like that's gonna be just add an extra layer of like challenge to like their dynamics.
I
I don't
know.
know.
Because Jax had went online and said that he had blamed like and
No.
like people were like outraged. Oh yeah, this was like,
I vaguely remember this.
yeah, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like a year ago, it might have been like right when it aired, when the first season aired. Um and people were like eating him up in the comments. I just think that Jax needs to
Shut up.
he needs to be like,
Yeah.
again, you've like a dual, but people also like, I'm a recovery coach, so like a dual diagnosis is like, they never used to that wasn't a thing. They would be like, oh, you're on UGs and you need to go to rehab, and that's what we're treating you. That's what we're here to treat you for, is your UG addiction, not anything else. Not realizing that the real trigger is the mental health that usually triggers the addiction as like a self-soothing, self-medicate, type of situation. So it's like, if you can treat the mental health, the addiction's gonna naturally get better because your mental health is better. You know what I
Is
mean?
weird.
Like,
Oh, totally.
he
And I
needs.
think he came out, I don't know if this is official or not, so but something about him being bipolar.
I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
borderline personality disorder.
Yes. He does feel very borderline-ish.
Yeah,
Like
and I think the
that.
camera confuses them. Like, they do start to like become the character that they are playing. Like,
Well, of course, because they're getting rewarded for it too. Like he's getting fame, he's getting money, he's getting, talked about. And I think it's feeding that ego.
yeah,
And
for
I do
sure.
think sadly he'll be fine. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like not I don't know like mentally or addiction wise, but I think he'll always find someone who wants a piece of
because it's
that
a man's
fame.
world. Look at
It is.
PK. PK
Yeah.
out here with some young, pretty little young thing,
Some
blonde hair girl.
24-year-old is going to be like, "Oh, I can fix them or I can, like that." And it's like, "Oh, sweetie,
I know.
don't."
But it's
Yeah.
like, they have so much energy at that age that you're just like, well, I guess wear yourself. Yeah, when you're like 22, 23, 24, like, you have so much energy for love that you just like,
Yeah. When you're 40, I'm 44. So when you're 44, you don't have that energy.
I
You're
can't
like,
even
no, no,
imagine.
no.
I'm like 38 and
Like,
I don't have that. And I haven't had it for a long ass time since I had my
yeah,
kid.
same.
I was like, yeah.
But that's a little bit too why they get these 20-year-olds, I think. Because the
Yeah.
20-year-olds just don't have that lived experience. They don't, they're attracted to the money, the fame, all of it.
They
And
believe
then
the bullshit.
yes, they
Mhm.
don't know. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, because the thing
Um,
about it, Dorit's older now. She understands a little bit more than she did before, and she probably doesn't take, PK's bull, his,
yeah.
because he had a loan out. I just saw this. It was posted last night on Twitter. He took a loan out against like Boy George's likeness or Boy George's band. He used it as collateral. So now he's like defaulted on the loan. If you are on Twitter, Mrs. Peacock, or you could too. Ronald Richards is a attorney out of Beverly Hills. He
Oh, I
kind of
know that
got
name.
popular whenever Erica Jane and everything happened with
Yes.
Tom Girardi because he was posting about it. But
He
he'll
was messy, right? He was
oh
like in it
messy,
in the comment. Like he is, yeah.
so messy. He started out on Sherelle's World, who is a big YouTuber, and she covers pop culture and housewives. And he came on there. I don't know how they like had started talking or what. She was asking him questions about Tom Girardi and stuff, and then he started tweeting about it and just like started covering it. And now he'll sporadically cover legal things like that are happening in California and. A PK and Dorito because she filed for divorce and the home and the pre foreclosure and whatever else, there's a lien on this loan that he took and used like Boy George's band or his likeness or his artwork as collateral. And
Oh
now he's
no.
defaulted on it. So whenever, they sell that house or whatever happens, they're gonna have to take care of that. But then some people are saying that I don't I don't know. Someone was trying to say that that house had something to do with the agency, like they were renting it, like something to do with. But I don't think that was the case ever. I did not hear that. I thought that house was in her name.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I think I read that it was in.
yeah, whenever they were like talking about it, because their original home wasn't in her name, it was in their friend's name, who's like this big time mobster out there, like
Shut the
the
fuck up. Oh,
no,
sorry.
yeah,
Please stop.
girl. Dana Wilkie won't even name him. I don't name him either. Like, you don't
Stop.
name a girl, I don't name him either.
No,
Like,
yeah, I'm good.
yeah, and he like is very powerful and rich, and he's like, PK, they're friends or whatever, and so he would like buy the home in his name, obviously, and then they would pay him like
My
whatever,
friends
and
need
then
to
they
be
would.
doing more for me. Like,
Listen, I can't believe PK was like I did a video on him about how maybe he might like to dip his toe in the pond of the other team because
interesting.
he like I don't know, there was like a photo that he had posted that seemed a little I don't know, I felt like it kind of said it was I mean, it
Like
was
for
just
the boys.
yeah, and then he's Boy George and they all lived together and then come to find out when he was out in New York City the night she was doing Watch What Happens Live with Bose, he was out celebrating the opening of I want to say like a Planet Hollywood or something and he was out with a date but they were transgender. So I was like that's
I
what
hadn't heard that.
yeah, and so I was like maybe that is like maybe that's why things aren't working out between the two of them or something like maybe I don't know, you
Yeah.
never know. And like then people in the comments were like, "Oh, I've known from the jump. Like I thought you could tell. Can't you tell?"
I feel
And
like he's such a slob that he's like feels so straight white man to me. Like I'm like I
privileged white man, I know. I know.
yeah, there's but
But you
that's
know who he
interesting.
used to also get down with is this girl. She does a podcast now, but she was the one that was dating Tiger Woods when
Rachel Yulichek or something?
she
You'll
used to she used to get down with him. She said that
no.
on her podcast with David Young. Well, I think she was on David's podcast and they were talking about and she admitted to it that yeah.
Wild.
And she said it was good.
No,
Yeah.
no. Well,
Yeah.
I
hmm
that's
So it's like
yeah.
he
Oh
has
my
been able to
gosh.
pull like women. I don't
I
know.
heard
I've
he
been
just
like
got caught making out with someone from The Amazing Race.
is that where she's from?
Yeah, she's gorgeous too. Honestly, and she's 50. So I was like, "Oh, she's like age appropriate." She looks 25 though. She's like stunning.
Is that the one he just
Um
got caught making out with for real?
yeah, and he made out with her in a place that's like I forget exactly where it was, but it was like where paparazzi are. So it's like he was trying to get seen, I think.
I almost feel like my video, it got like 50,000 views. It wasn't like anything crazy, but in my
How is
mind,
that not crazy? First of all, like
I'm
that's
like,
my
what
dream.
if I posted that and he like went in there and read all those fucking comments and was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
It was
oh,
like the timing was a little peculiar. And they watched the blogs. I know they watched the blogs because when Dana Wilkie posted, she had like gotten this photo of like Dorit and PK, or it was Dorit and Mauricio. It was like an affair to remember or something like that. And she had posted it like
oh
in
yeah.
real time. And Dorit came in the comments. They were like mad about it. And PK, yeah, they were like big mad about it. So I
Well,
feel
I
like
don't think I never believe the rumors about Mauricio and Dorito. I just don't find I don't there's something about them that just I don't know. That would
I think
be
that I think the
flirty.
four of them had an unconventional, because they were definitely going out. I mean, we're talking COVID, so 2020, they live right down the street from each other. Mauricio and PK were trying to put together like a pilot, put together a show. Mauricio ended up getting the deal from Netflix, and that's why PK went overseas. And so but prior to that, they were together 4 or 5 nights a week, out drinking, partying. That's when Kyle was like really whooping it up. Remember? I
Oh
mean,
yeah, before
yeah,
she.
and there was a lot of blind items about like what was going down behind the scenes between them, and I do believe it because I feel like that's why Kyle has a hard time defining what her relationship with PK actually is.
Yeah, and why she can't just cut him off? Because it does feel like
Yeah, and I think they've like overstepped somewhere, and that's another reason she doesn't can't be friends with Dorit at all anymore, because like it's like, when you're like young and you and your boyfriend go out to the bar and like you have a friend, and like then you bring the friend home and everything's fine that night, but then the next day like the wife's like,
yeah,
well,
like is not
yeah, it's
cool with
not
it.
fine anymore. And I
Yeah.
almost feel like that a little bit. And I think like that they were like partying like rock stars, because we know PK, Mauricio,
Yeah.
Kyle, yeah, and they were
It's
like
interesting that two of them are sober now too, PK and
Kyle.
Kyle.
Hmm.
That is. Wait, what do you think is going to happen with Beverly Hills? The rumor is that Erica is going to be either demoted or cut.
I think she will be. I thought that's why they were bringing Jennifer Tilly on.
I freaking love Jennifer Tilly.
I
She
know,
makes me laugh so hard.
but
I'm
I'm
like,
like, why
get
did they
her full
even ask her about
time.
how her husband knew everything that was going to happen in the future? Like, that's my number one
Yeah,
question. That's literally like, did you have like a space mission? Like, how did your husband know? Like,
I
seriously, I
know.
need to know how did he know?
He really did. And I love her. I want her full time and I want to see her activated a bit because I feel like she's been a little too neutral. Like, and I feel like the girls are starting to come for her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the shine is worn off because she's like an Oscar winning actress. Or I don't know if she won the Oscar, but she was nominated. Like she had
Okay.
like a real, career. So I think they're a little threatened by it. But I just want to see her. I don't know. I want to see her back. I would love to see Kyle with either no minions, like no like best friends,
Uh huh.
and
Yeah.
like see how she navigates that. Or maybe we just get rid of Kyle for a minute. Like she takes a little break.
LVP was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and she was dog walking Kyle. She was
No.
dog walking her. Uh, Andy was like, they did the He was like, "What is the top five things you would do if Kyle moved across the street from you?" Because remember,
Oh, she
Kyle
was
said she was
going to
looking at a house. She said, "Andy Cohen, when I tell you that that house was like 15 yards from my house," she's like, "It was
No.
Channing Tatum's house," and she was like, she visited it 4 times. And she's like, the number one thing I would do is I would put my house up for sale. Like, if she moved across the street from me, I would put my house up for sale. And Andy was
That's
like, trying
wild.
to act like he
Yeah,
wasn't
be
laughing.
neutral.
Right. And she goes, no, 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 let's talk about this. She's like, didn't she also open her store like 100 yards away from my restaurant? And she's referenced like basically Kyle trying to be her lap dog. She's like, do I need to make room on my lap for her? Because it's like she's always wants to be on my lap somewhere. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
ooh,
And I feel like Kyle wants to be friends with LVP again. Like I feel like she's alluded to it, but like doesn't want to come out and say it.
for sure. Because I absolutely, I just think that her and Mauricio have been like the it couple in Beverly
Yes.
Hills, the funny couple, the couple you want to sit by at all the parties, and they've like, they've
They have a lot
swooned
of power.
over to get him clients and clientele and buy, and just I don't know. It's very it seems like kind of superficial, It's like,
Yeah. And I don't know what to do with Kyle. I thought that reunion with Kyle was so strange. When she was talking about her like maybe being gay, like she was like coming out without coming out, and then Andy said something like, "Oh, like my dad said the same thing when I was coming out." And she's like, "Oh, that's not I'm not doing that." I was like, "Well, what the f are you doing? What are you saying? I don't understand."
I
Like,
agree, because all it does is it just like contradicts each other. Like, I
yeah,
just dropped a podcast episode yesterday about like a couple of things that production left out of the reunion that were super important. Number one, Kyle reads off of a screenshot, the conversation, the text message she sent to PK. If you go back and watch that, she's not reading that from a live thread. She took a screenshot of what
Probably
she
edited
texted
it,
PK,
right?
and that's what she was reading off. And that is suspicious as
That is, yeah, scroll. You see it all. Like,
so.
don't.
That was one. Number two was there was a scene that they left out of the season where Kyle and Erica Jane are at Kyle's house and they're talking about the whole situation. And she says, you know, I could blindside Dorit with the things that PK tells me, but I don't. Well, what happened to your relationship just
Ooh.
being
I
memes
thought it
and
was
jokes,
memes.
ma'am? Right? So,
That's
like,
very
why did they
threatening.
bring
I would be
that up?
pissed if I got divorced from my husband and a friend said that, I would be livid. Like,
Livid.
what
Livid.
is, and why are you even talking to, I don't know. I didn't like that at all.
That's what I mean. I think that like part of it is Kyle trying to like be in the know of what Mauricio was doing because of PK and
Mm-hmm.
Mauricio being friends. But I also think that like there is a she feels entitled, which makes me feel like they've had actual escapades. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that would be.
and that's why they don't she can't set like a boundary on what their friendship diameter looks like because she's always going to feel some type of way if they were like together, you
Yeah,
know,
like they
like
have.
that she can do and say whatever she wants, or she can call him if she wants to, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but I do think too, Kyle would be so freaking pissed if it was reversed.
Are you serious? Of
Yeah.
course she would be. And I found it funny that she told us that she was able to read everything off Mauricio's phone while he was still in the house. Remember, she was like, I
Oh, yeah.
and Doria didn't seem bothered. She didn't seem like, oh shit, like him and I
Yeah,
have been
like
caught. Like she seemed very unbothered. I don't think they were like messing around behind her back. I think he's a pig for sure. The Reddit
Brittany said
threads
something about
confirm.
Mauricio recently, like on, I think it was Watch What Happens Live, where she was like, "Oh, I have dirt on him," or like, "I've heard stuff about him," which I was like, "Oh,
Who
interesting."
said
That
that?
Brittany
On
Cartwright,
Mauricio? She said that.
yeah, which I was
No.
like, "What is it?" Because he's
Uh-uh.
kept a, I mean, there were rumors briefly, but he's kept a pretty squeaky clean image. I feel like no, or
Yeah, I mean, I think he has. I mean, a whole book came out about him, like, and people don't even talk about it. People, I talk
wait,
about. Yeah, he was. There
you
was
know,
a woman in California. She wrote a book because she made a transition, and she was a ex worker on Hollywood Boulevard, and she named some of her most famous clients. One being Eddie Murphy, and two being Mauricio Yermansky. And he did not sue. It was very much in her book. It's very much out there, and everyone in California, and that everyone knows. And this was right when before they even came on to the Housewives.
wow, that is wild. Actually,
Yeah,
I'm shocked. I feel like I'm in the know, and I had not heard
yeah.
this. So that's
The ex worker said that like it was like her and another worker they would team up, and then when they would pick up like their John or whatever, they would give them the option of adding in a second or third bring the other
like
person in, and he
Kyle.
opted
Kyle
for
a
that.
freak, huh?
Yeah,
Like,
and so it
or
was the three of them, but she was transitioning. But yeah, Hollywood. I mean, yeah, and like I said, it was in a book. Okay, book before they
wow,
even
yeah.
came on
So whoever
Housewives.
scrubbed that did a good job from the like internet, because that is like, I feel like the other housewives don't know that, because I feel like that they would.
I feel like they do. They just don't bring it up.
Oh,
It's the
they
one
don't.
thing that
Oh,
Garcelle they said they don't bring it up. They don't talk about Maurice's infidelities. That's why when Sutton said that to Kyle, when she said you've had infidelities, and Kyle said, Who? Who's had infidelities? I didn't have infidelity. Like I'm saying, that's
yeah.
how much denial she is. And they have to remember, like, again, Lisa Renna said that Kathy Hilton's whole spiel the night that she had that whole meltdown in Aspen was she was taking down Mauricio. Like she was gonna like let her.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah, because they have a history, right? Like with
yes,
the.
Hilton and Highland because he was working he didn't like he got his real estate license and went and started to work under Rick Hilton, and he like continued to like get big, and he claimed that Rick wouldn't make him a partner So that's why he went off and opened the agency, but he didn't just do that. He like didn't give a notice. He just like one day sent an email and was like, I'm not gonna ever come back into the office again. I and like they
Probably
had
got
a
some
gentleman's
clients.
agreement to not take any of each other's like agents or clients, but allegedly he took a bunch of agents with him. So that's what put such bad blood between them for so long. But if you go back and watch like that season and that episode, Mauricio is at their house in Aspen when they're all there. Remember they put Kathy downstairs in that basement bedroom, like by herself
Yes.
in the double bunk room. And then I feel like when they were like eating dinner, Mauricio was like cooking and he like kind of sniffed at her. I don't know. I just felt like you could tell like
There was a tension.
yeah. Yeah. And then allegedly when they came back and then she was drunk and she was telling Lisa Rinna how she could take down her whole family, but she was for sure about, to let Kyle really know about
Yeah.
Mauricio. I just wonder what kind of dirt, like what else could there be?
Yeah. I want Kim back.
How is she? Have you heard
I don't
anything
know.
about her?
I actually she went on a live. She was kind of a mess, but like I also feel like she's kind of quirky in general. Like if
Yeah.
there's so it's hard. I mean, I know there's been a lot in the news about her relapsing and then, like not leaving Kyle's home and but I
Yeah.
always had a soft spot for her. She always made me laugh. Yeah, I'm just like bring her back. Like
And she's had it the worst out of all of them. I mean, she was like in Hollywood as a child when like there was no protection for children,
no
and her
protection.
mother basically was like offering her up on a silver platter. Like the horror stories about that woman, and that's like how they're just like messed up because they like praise their mother and like
In a
everything I've
way that
ever
feels
like that's not. I mean, it's complete opposite if you ask everyone else around them. Like I mean, the things that are like in that book House of Hilton about like just how they had to perform for the men and the boy. Like she was a womanite. Like she divorced their dad when Kim started to make enough money that she didn't need the dad anymore. So Kyle they have half brothers and sisters. She just doesn't own it. Doesn't claim any of them.
Oh, I did not know that
Yeah.
actually.
Her dad on their dad's side, he had other children. He remarried.
Yeah, they never talk about their dads actually.
No.
Like they
Kathy's
talk about
dad
the
like
mom a lot.
disappeared. He wasn't around much when she was like younger. But she didn't want Kyle and Kim's dad to adopt her because she wanted control. And then like they were from like Oklahoma or something, and she wanted to make the girls famous. And so he had a lot of money. And they moved out to California, and then eventually, once Kim started to make, that's why Kim says she supported her whole family because her mom literally divorced her rich dad because Kim was making enough money that they didn't need
They
him
didn't need
anymore.
him.
And then she would take up to a booth at the Beverly Hills Hotel where she would drink, her day and night away and pick up men. And yeah, that's
Big
why Kim
Kathy.
ended up at the Beverly Hills Hotel when she was like drunk and got arrested and went on Dr. Phil and all that. It was like she said it was the Beverly Hills because it was like a soft, special place to her heart. But all of us like knew her mom used to drink in a booth in the Beverly Hills
Yeah,
Hotel.
she's like channeling her mother in
Yeah.
some sort of like messed up way. I know, I root for her because I loved her the first few seasons. I thought she had such a charm about her and she was so quirky.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kyle is very controlling and very like wants to be sort of like the head bitch in charge and say who's friends with who and just like they all sort of are. I feel like they're afraid of Kyle in a way that's like makes it not fun for me to watch.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lisa was I feel like Lisa could check Kyle a little bit and I miss that. I want them to find someone who can like do that again.
I agree with you. I feel like there isn't anyone that's really holding her much accountable. I think Dorit tried to in like her instances, but like Kyle is very combative, like in all of that. I
Yeah.
mean, but you're right. Lisa Vanderpump was pretty much the only person that could really do that to Kyle. And I
And
don't know. I
everyone who
feel like
did
who?
left. Like I feel like remember the witch, Carlton? Like I feel like she tried to and then she was just gone. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Although she might have been gone for other. I don't know. I don't know what her Q score was or whatever it is. But
I don't
like
know. Was she only on one season?
one season. Bring her
Yeah.
back too. Bring back all the weirdos. I love it. I want them like I feel like these shows are missing like really quirky, like fun people. Like bring
I
them
agree with
back.
you. I
Yeah.
think that they should too. Like I don't know, Camille I guess was there, and she had a I guess her and Dorit had a big fallout, but they didn't show it this season. They cut it. She was on Twitter talking about it.
Yeah. Camille, I mean, I don't love Camille, but I love Camille as a villain.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean?
For sure.
Like she makes okay TV. So like, and that's what I want. I want to get activated. So sometimes I'm like, even if they're terrible people, I still want to watch them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And the thing I like about Camille is she does have moments where she's very truthful. Like she was one of the first people to ever talk about Mauricio and the nanny, season one. Like she was always making those little jabs about Mauricio and the nanny and Mauricio and the nanny, and Mauricio and the nanny, right?
Yeah.
Um, and when she said the LVP needed to get her teeth caps fixed
Oh, I forgot that
because
scene.
Camille was like she was like a dental hygienist before she did whatever it was and married her
Kelsey.
husband. So she's like into teeth, and she was like, I just can't see her teeth anymore because she needs her cap done so bad, and she has garlic breath mixed with wine and cigarettes. Like that was
I
pretty epic.
That
Like
was epic. And that's what you need. You need people to challenge each other a little bit. I mean, not
yeah,
that you need it, but it makes it interesting. I feel like
yeah,
everyone is so afraid now that it's like, and that's why I'm gonna miss Garcelle because I do think Garcelle did try to bring things up to Kyle, and she was the only one that was at least trying. I don't know
yeah,
that she did like a great job at it, but like, I was happy to see her just like, why can't we talk about Morgan?
right.
She
I
was
know.
on the show.
I know. And then when you got done with your reunion after you said we couldn't talk about her, you went to Amsterdam with her.
What is it? I also didn't like when she was like, I never thought I was a lesbian until everyone said that I was. And I was like, I don't know that that's how it works. Like, it
I
just
mean,
felt like,
Kyle is like, I remember she went on Watch What Happens Live and tried to tell like Andy that no one would even be speculating about the two of them if Morgan didn't have tattoos. I'm like, no, Kyle, that's really not why
no,
though.
they
That's
did
not
have
why though.
crazy chemistry though. They were like flirty.
Yeah, I know they were. They were very much flirty, and I feel like Morgan is almost like I feel like she's mad at the Real Housewives community because she thought she was going to get a very big fan base for her music out of
No, we're
the
all
fans.
lunatics. Like,
No, and we're like, what? We don't care about your music, but we did make you a household name. You're welcome.
yeah.
Like because
I didn't
nobody
know
knew
who
who you
she
were.
was
We might not cheer
until,
your music on and be like going to your concerts, but like,
yeah, we know who you are. The New York Times wrote an article about her. Like, I feel like she got well, I can't say that word for some reason. Publicity. Why can't
yeah,
I literally don't know why I can't say that word. Publicity. I need to say
yeah.
it slow. Yeah, I feel like she got, recognition.
She did. And I just think that she is peculiar in a way. Like her ex girlfriend was making TikToks when all this first happened. And that's how we kind of figured out it was Kyle Richards that she was like seeing because the girl was like crying about it. Like, I think Morgan had came to California and put on at like a venue or something like that. And Kyle was there, and the girl went and did TikTok and was like, and she was there with her. Yeah. But I
And
also think it's Kyle about to make a hella money off a documentary where she's going to come out and she's going to do it the way that
and
she
like a
wants to on her own time. Because
yeah.
if you go back and watch Netflix, like Mauricio's, you don't have to watch a whole season, but if you watch the couple of episodes surrounding the announcement of their separation on July 4th in People Magazine, they gave us a lot of context. Like Netflix got a lot of that. Like Bravo didn't
Interesting.
get any of it.
Bravo did
Netflix
hardly
did.
any. It was so like whitewashed. I felt like, it was like very like I was like, I want to like it just felt like I feel like, but that's very Kyle to be like, I'm having the perfect divorce. It's like, are you? I don't is there one? It's okay if it's like not going great.
Right. I just think that I don't know. I think that she planted that. I think that I mean, you can't tell me that Erica Jane files for divorce on election day of 2020 is not strategic. And then here comes Kyle 2 years later, and the People Magazine article drops on July 4th. Bullshit. You and the press. They need three people, three physical people. They're not going to name them, but three people that are willing to put their name up to verify a story. Like you can't just email or talk to People Magazine because your Faye Resnick. They're going to run your story, especially when it comes to Mauricio and Kyle. You think
Right.
like they have to have three sources to verify that. So what like Mauricio and Kyle know they're lying to us when they try to make it seem like one random person just outed them, that's bullcrap. There's no
No.
way. So I think that,
That psychic outed them 20 years ago.
yeah, she did. That is crazy. That's crazy to me.
I know. It's wild that it's like, yeah. So what was her name? Oh,
She's still around. She has a podcast, and she was actually like a guest on David Yontev's Behind the Velvet Rope podcast. I don't know, like a year
oh,
ago or
she was
something.
loving this shit. Like
Oh
when
yeah,
that
for
happened,
sure.
when that divorce got, she was like, well,
Yeah,
like, like
that's so funny.
that was a good day for her. Like she got
Absolutely. Because I
vindicated.
feel like she's on every meme, like every stream, like the talking about like Kyle and Mauricio. There's always a picture of her like hitting her electronic cigarette.
Her like that was the other thing that Camille did good. Like she brought in some wackadoodles, which thank you.
Yeah. Do you
Like
remember when she used to kiss that guy on the lips? He was like a tennis
no.
player or something. Yeah, the first season he was like her friend, but then when they would greet each other, they would kiss
They would
each other. He was like a very handsome, young, athletic man, and they would kiss each other on the lips, but try to act
oh
like it wasn't. And his wife
weird.
would
Like it
be
was like they're
there.
like it's European. It's like, is it?
Yeah, and the wife
Like
was like there, and you could tell she wasn't really comfortable with it, but she would like roll with it. But Kelsey, he was like cheating on Camille. She didn't know it at the
oh
time,
yeah.
but
He
like,
had a whole ass baby.
yeah, and so she's over here kissing this ten. I mean, it was very, very
Yeah.
peculiar. There's a long history there, I feel like, with all of them.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm excited. I'm excited. I think there'll be a shakeup this season, and I think there needs to be. I
Yes,
think that
me
the
too.
cast is getting a little, I don't know. We just need some new energy in there.
Mrs. Peacock named her. Her name is Allison. I'm like, yep, that's right. It was Allison. That was the psychic Allison. She was on like a show or something. Didn't she win uh like
Yeah,
American Idol or like America's Got Talent or something? She was like literally a psychic for like
yeah, she did something. She
yeah,
definitely
that's how she
had.
got found, I think. Is that way. So I don't know. That's crazy. I'm so glad. I don't want to keep you all day today, but I'm so glad that we got to bring you on and
Yeah, I can't
chat
tell you how
the
much I appreciate
Valley.
it. Like this is
I
my
know
dream.
we
Like
need
I
to like do this more often, like maybe like the first week of every month or something, so that we have
absolutely.
a steady date and time for people like Mrs. Peacock who can hop in. They know like when we're gonna do
We
our live.
appreciate you, Mrs. Peacock.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna put your handle in the comments so that you guys can go follow her on TikTok. She has amazing, great content. She's a new creator and she covers everything Bravo. Super down to earth, super like relatable, and I'm really excited that we got to have her on.
Thank
And
you so much. And it's so like I can't tell you how much I appreciate your work too. Like I love all like your recovery stuff. I love like your Bravo takes. I just find you so charming and so fun. So
oh,
thank
thank
you
you
for
so
having me. I
much.
appreciate it
That
so
is
much.
so kind. Thank you. I'm trying to get back into doing lives, so like it's
This is
nice to
my
have
first
somebody
live
chat
actually.
with,
So
like that you can bounce off of instead of just 45 minutes talking by yourself. It's hard. Like to do a podcast by yourself to just talk for 45
oh my
minutes.
gosh,
Like
yeah, no.
too much. I can't do it. But I hope you have a great she's going away on a yogi treat, right?
I know. I don't do yoga, but I go on yoga retreats.
That's okay. I feel like you can like relax and stretch and like you don't
Yeah.
got to be an expert, right?
No, and it's such a cute place. It's called Kripawo in Western Mass, so I love it. And Cheryl Strahan is actually Cheryl Strayed. She wrote Wild. She's like teaching a seminar, so that'll be fun.
Nice. I
Mm.
feel like people have good energy there, and that's like a good place to like rejuvenate your soul.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah,
And I'm going with two girlfriends that I never see, so I'm like psyched about that.
that's
I know. I
awesome.
know.
I love that. That's like so important to have like your girlfriends that you can actually make time and get away to see.
100%. I feel like female friendships, it just brings like a life out of me. Like I never laugh as hard as I do than with like old female friends. Like
I
I
know.
just love them so much. It's
I
like the
know.
best.
Cherish that, girl. That's so nice that you're gonna get to do that. You're gonna be gone all weekend. You come home
All
Sunday.
weekend. Yeah. Bye,
Nice.
kids.
Nice. Oh, well, I'll be thinking of you while I'm
Oh,
wiping
thank you so
ashes
much.
and making sippy cups and peanut butter and jelly.
Been there.
Yeah, send me some good energy.
Oh, I will. I will. Thank you so much. I
Of course,
appreciate
we'll
it.
chat soon. Bye, guys. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Mrs. Peacock, for coming in and chatting with us. And we will let you know the next time that we're going to do this so that you can hop in again. Have a great
Yeah, we
weekend.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye. Bye.